Mike. Okay. Okay, let's see, man. This is going to be interesting, to say the least. What's good, people? It's your boy Double O. Let me get the intros out. Give y'all time to hit the like button real quick while I set up and make sure that the chat is working. Yeah, it is on. Uh, I hate that you got to sign in every time like that. That'd be so stupid. Well, I'm just trying to sign in first so I can at least see in the chat. But we here. Oh my god, bro. I swear it's just irritating sometimes with technology. Like I already had this set up. Now I can't sign in. But you know what? I got my phone, so alright, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Let me see if I can get it sent to my phone real quick. But yeah, that joke happened fast. Um, but yeah, today I'm going ahead and just get into this whole. You see the title, the situation going on. Uh, did Cassie railroad Diddy? Did he do it? Did he done it? Or and Tory Lanez, is he ever getting out, man? It's been a weird, like, man, last couple of days been crazy. Especially when it comes to especially when it comes to like this court case, like the last 5 days and everything that's been talked about and everything that came out. Pause, you know what I'm saying? It's been crazy because you got a lot of people on the fence right now, and giving to it is true. In many cases, more than one. Um, we learned a lot. We learned more than what we supposed to have learned. This is kind of like when the kids find out about how how their mom and their daddy used to get down in the past, and people start going into detail about what they didn't witness and experience. This is more like that in this case. Like this shouldn't have never came out, but due to the fact of Diddy trying to save himself and not going to used to get down in the past. Oh snap! They get locked up like that for the rest of his life. You know, we starting to learn stuff. We starting to learn what we shouldn't have learned. Excuse me. Okay, the audio is good. So I asked the question, and this is the reason why I asked the question because I was in a Discord with the other guys in the Discord, and we was just everybody is shocked and still trying to figure out like, okay, even with all this information that Cassie gave in the last 5 days or 4 or 5 days of her being on trial, because if you don't know, quick synopsis, she's pregnant right now with her third child with her husband, who's been with her ever since she left Diddy. And man, crazy situation with that. But he's been in the courtroom supporting her as well. They tried to get her off the stand as quick as possible because of, due to her pregnancy and stuff like that. She's pretty much due any day now. And we moved on to Diddy came for like day 5 or whatever. and she pretty much like doubled down to confirm the abuse that Cassie stated that she went through with Diddy. But and then we also heard about the freakos, how we learned a lot about Cassie and her mileage. I'll say the least right now. I don't want to go too crazy with it, but it was some it was some wild stuff. But consensual adults nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? Two consensual adults doing what they do, and one is trying to please the other one. And Diddy, you know, in many some people opinion, they used her, man. You know, she was a side chick that became a main chick, and they was in love with each other, and they loved having sex with each other. You know, for the most part, as wild as it was, that's the gist of it. But you know, it came a little extreme in many cases, more than once. But I'm not judging that part. We was looking like, so everybody was just like, okay, they're just two freaky adults. Where's the charge at in this? Because right now, it looking like Diddy gonna get off scot free in the sense of, or he's not going to get as much time as people think that he was going to get. So we thought that he was going to get where's the trafficking and where's the racketeering aspect of this, because right now y'all just looking real freaky. You know what I'm saying? Diddy's a abuser, but you're not on trial for abuse XYZ. You're on trial for racketeering. So, but after talking to my barber, shout out to my barber, he put me on game because, and this I knew this beforehand, but I didn't take this in consideration of what Cassie said in the last 4 or 5 days. I honestly think Diddy is already done. Like he's done for, and and it's been proven just because of Cassie and how close she has been with Diddy. The things that they've done is already proven that he's found guilty within a reasonable doubt, without a reasonable doubt, and I'm going to explain why. So I was talking to my the barber, and he was pretty much on the same situation that we was talking about. Like, oh, where's the trafficking? Where's this? Where's that? And I started explaining to him, you know, why did they bring this situation up with trafficking now with the celebrities? It goes back before T.I. and Tiny, I believe. But for me personally, I remember their situation where T.I. and Tiny allegedly was picking up girls while he was on tour. They'll have, you know, threesomes allegedly. And in the process of that, they was on the tour bus. So they was going to other states and smashing chicks on the bus or whatever. And then they'll drop them off and, send them a flight ticket home or Uber or whatever. And they just go back to their crib, allegedly. So in that situation, I don't think T.I. and Tiny ended up getting convicted for trafficking, but this was the first time I started like hearing about it. And then, of course, the second time, the major part, which actually the individual got convicted for it, was, R. Kelly. They hit him with the racketeering, and he got hit with trafficking. And in the law of what they're trying to make, I don't want to say it in the law because, we can always Google this stuff. That's the thing. Google is your friend in most cases, more than one, especially in this situation. But you can literally check out and see what sex trafficking is. Is that it is a form of human trafficking where a person is recruited, transported, provided, obtained, or on purpose of commercial sex acts. The act is often inducted by force, fraud, or coerced, or the person inducted is under the age of 18. Now, very broad meaning towards this word, sex trafficking or whatever. But you can also be consensual, and that's when they tried to hit Tiny, T.I. and Tiny with with the recruitment and the transportation. The thing is, you can have consensual sex with someone. It's the possibility of money being transaction between one of the both parties, where the trafficking part comes in at. And this is what clicked in my head about Diddy in that situation. Cassie has already confirmed on court, I think about day 1 or 2, that they were partaking with escorts. You know what I'm saying? They was on some wild stuff in the sense, like, y'all can look at the court dockets. This ain't me making it up. They would go find strangers on other platforms and apps and websites to have sex with. You know, trying to have, like, so they wouldn't know who they were and all this stuff. And they wore disguises and all that stuff. They was on a sexapade situation. So when it comes down to this, she already admitted money was transferred, even with the escorts that they mentioned. And she used the alias, even in situations. She round up the individuals for them to have these sex acts, and they paid them. If that is the case, and that person traveled, or they was traveling from different locations out of various states, this is kind of like, this is the reason why I think they got it in New York, because this is how they got R. Kelly as well, with the sex trafficking and racketeering. They already done for. And this is the reason why Cassidy got immunity, because, and I got my own opinion about that, but she got immunity so she can testify and give everything, because of course they want Diddy for the most part. Diddy is the cash cow per se. The man was worth almost a billion, not almost, but I think they had announced he was worth $1 billion after they had Kanye end up losing all of that money. I remember something coming out about that, saying he was a billionaire and stuff like that. End up getting the key to the city, the key to New York, etc. But all that glitz and glamour didn't paint over the heinous stuff that he was doing in behind closed doors, and heck, apparently in public, because listening to Don, she allegedly she heard and seen things as well of abuse. So like I told people, I ain't got no dog in this fight for either one of these cats, any of these celebrities at all. If y'all haven't learned anything in the past 5 to 10 years, these people are just like you. They everyday people. They get up and do a 9 to 5 like you. They just probably get paid a little bit more than you, and a lot of people follow them on social media. But other than that, stop idolizing these people. They are not worth idolizing at all. You don't know them. They never been at your bar mitzvah. They never been at a church function for you. Ain't never been to your birthday party. They don't know you. You ain't got no blood ties to these people. These individuals do not care about you, and y'all need to carry yourselves in the same matter. Enjoy the entertainment, cool, but don't go out here fighting for these people. Because a lot of people tend to try to put their own personal experience or life issues and correlate it with these celebrities. And trust and believe, you selling yourself short at that point, because uh, you know, you're looking at yourself less than. And in this situation, it's the same thing. You would think a man that was almost a millionaire, billionaire, he has access to every woman in the world, and can travel and buy whatever he wants. You're at a point. He's at a point now where his lust for sexual whatever fantasies has blindsided him to the point where he's out here physically harming people. And and mind you, it's over 1 billion something people in the world, but he's going above and beyond, destroying someone else's life because he want to keep control of them. And you're seeing that play out in full circle where, you supposedly love this person, but you're so controlling and abusive that you don't want to see them leave or be with somebody else, but you still want to do what you want to do because of your fame and fortune. And then you have it on the other side, this individual, because, all due respect, she was wrong just as well as he was. You knew the gentleman was married at the time to Kim Porter. I believe they were still married at the time, or even if they were or weren't, you know what I'm saying? He had kids, he had relationships and ties with that individual, and you decided to take it upon yourself and make a decision, regardless of how old or young you were, um, to be with this man, to take that risk and choose to be with him, even though you was already allegedly in a relationship with a producer. You dumped him to go with this man, knowing what he had on his history and who he was. You wanted the fame and the fortune. You was willing to go through whatever it takes to be with that man. And he did what a typical individual, not just any man, but any human would do. They used you. They saw your weakness and they used you. You got used. Put her in a 10-year deal. And from that point on, you've been enjoying the life, even to the point where, like they said, she enjoyed the freak offs. More and more time progressed, we started to learn that she was not only a willing participant in the freak offs, she was actually trying to advertise and support and set up freak offs in certain occasions, even to the point where you allegedly moved on with someone else. I think they said it was like maybe 3 times. It was an NFL player, Kid Cudi. She tried to entertain somebody else, and then your husband, which was actually Diddy's person trainer, was a person that Diddy hired. You ended up sleeping with him. You showed the behavior, like even with the escorts, you would manipulate them into feeling sympathy for you, and y'all built relationships and had sex behind Diddy back, even in those situations. So you was a willing participant without a shadow of a doubt at this point. But you preyed on it and say, "Oh, I was young and dumb and I was naive and I loved him and XYZ." But but he was overly abusive. He did XYZ to me, which is crazy within itself. And, they say the Stockholm syndrome is real, and we start seeing cases of that as well. But when do we remove the Stockholm syndrome and start holding people accountable for just the actions that they do? You cause harm. Diddy caused harm to you, and you cause harm to others in many ways than one. And the reason why I say Diddy is already going to go down for the trafficking part. Oh, what's good, Pastor? What's going on? Yeah, man, this is a crazy story, but I got to give my little gist on it, because I was talking to the barber and we came down to a very, I had like a heavy revelation about the situation. Like, Diddy is going down for this period, and he's already found guilty for trafficking just because of what Cassidy said. And the reason for that is she said that she was paying for escorts to come out with them to have these sex acts. And it was going through various states. It wasn't just in California or LA or something like that, where, they had a bunny ranch, and certain things are, you're able to get away with in certain states. They was going in exclusive areas where it wasn't. And due to the fact, even though they was consensual adults and they was escorts, when money is involved in the transaction for sexual favor, it's called sex trafficking, which he already falls under that in many ways than one. And Cassie does too, because, she confirmed that she used to pay for the escort. She used to set up locations for them to have sex and put the cameras up and all that stuff. And it's already a done deal right now, unfortunately. Well, it ain't unfortunately, because again, they both did this to themselves. You gotta hold people accountable. This is what they wanted to do, and now this is the end result of what you wanted to do. Y'all could not control yourselves and y'all sexual lusts and favors that y'all wanted to do with each other to the point where it became a court case. So, but she was wilding, like, bro, she was wilding like no other. Um, Even to the point where you had moved on and you had a husband, and then you find out, I think they said within like a year or two between the kids. So she had two kids and then she had this third one. I think in between the two and the third, you recently had sex with Diddy. The man that abused you, the man that, did all this disrespectful stuff to you to the point where you didn't even know yourself. You was a shell of yourself and you had to run away from him multiple times. You still ran back to that person, even to the point where the I think one of the lawyers asked her, do she still love him? And she said to this day, yes, she still love him. So it was a very toxic relationship with somebody with two individuals that just had too much money on their hands. And again, it goes back to that idolizing money, the greed, the lust. And y'all need to stop idolizing these individuals because you never know what they do behind closed doors. So, in my opinion, he's done for. He's cooked. Like everything else right now is set in the grounds, because we thought it was just like, we was all saying, oh, they're trying to set him up in a sense because it's like a 40-day trial. And they like, okay, this only in day 5 right now. This is only day 5. And her Cassie point with being on that stand was to demonize him, like show just how low this person would go. She confirmed that he blew up Kid Cudi vehicle, or had his vehicle blew up. He was controlling. He watched her every movements, and he used to beat on her and force her to do things that she didn't want to do. Like it was all about making him out to be the demon that just had too much power. But in the twist of that, she did that while also putting herself under the bus, showing like she was a willing participant with this man in many ways than one. But also she showed that, yeah, we did traffic individuals willingly, like I said, because they was escorts. But when you look at the definition of sex trafficking, it states in there the transporting and of an individual for sex due to payment. So when the moment they paid them people, it was deemed as sex trafficking. I can't wait to see what else happened in this court case, to be honest with you, mainly for the fact that, bro, we got another 35 days. That was only day 5. Don being on the court, Don coming to court, she testified and confirmed Cassie's situation and the stuff that she's seen. But, Diddy been going crazy out here for years. And there's no telling how long the FBI and them they've been tracking Diddy. For other things, they could have been tracking Diddy since he could have been on the FBI radar when the hip hop police was out there in the incident that happened with him, Shine, and J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez. They could have been tracking him since then. They found a gun in one of his estates that had the firearms serial number scratched off. Which that's not saying a mission of guilt in no shape, form, or fashion. It's just the point it was in your home, or one of your homes, because you had more than one home. So I'm not saying he's guilty of that, but it's just so much other stuff that has to be break down. The situation when he had the assistant that was traveling with him, and he had the pink cocaine or whatever that heck that was, the pink substance that got him locked up. And then one of the producers that was at one of the parties described and showed pictures of the same pink cocaine that one of Diddy parties. It's like it's so much going on with it. Like this is the case of the century right now in hip hop alone right now, due to the fact of who it is and how many people this person is connected to, from politicians to other celebrities to other hip hop artists. He's connected to a lot of people. And unfortunately, in this situation, just like any other situation, because this is a high profile case, the real person behind Diddy isn't going to get locked up for anything. That's how insane this is, in my opinion, because Diddy was a gatekeeper. In my opinion, Diddy was a hip hop gatekeeper, which means he was able to get people in position to network with higher up individuals and get a lot of deals. Whatever, it didn't matter. He had a lot of connections with a lot of people in a lot of areas, and not just in hip hop. And I think that he was, a gatekeeper to the mansion, but we don't know who actually owned the mansion. You get what I'm saying? He's a security guard. He's a front man. Hey, I'll check the list and see if you on the list type of dude. Oh, we'll allow you to throw the parties for the hip hop artists, and you can do that and have fun and have all the drugs and stuff that you want. That's great. That's fine. But don't forget, the FBI removed a lot of tapes out of Diddy house, a lot of information from them homes, and we only just getting started, bro. Like we only just getting started. Is in my opinion, he said pink cocaine, LOL health is he knows about that type of stuff. hey, you know what he did? Because he told me yesterday, he's like, all it is just food coloring. I was like, I don't even know that, but it's just the point. Oh man, he's I did a lot of drugs in my life, but neither here nor there. This situation is going to be crazy because it's like my next question on this, because now I'm past the whole is he guilty or is he not guilty, or I'm past the whole Cassie demonized him, but where's the sex trafficking part at? I already pinpointed that to you guys right now. Me personally, I'm moving past that part of him being guilty, because he is. It's already been confirmed for me in the last 5 days, but I'm not the judge and jury, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying in my opinion. But the next 35 days, I'm trying to see or find who else was connected to this man. One. Two, is he going to throw anybody else under the bus? Like, to save himself? Because right now, it's bleak, bro. When I say the room is so dark, it is pitch black. You can't even see your hand in front of your goddamn face right now because of what Cassie brought to the table. And right now, he's the only one going down for it. Like, your number one accomplished, the one that was with you when you was doing everything, your Bonnie and Clyde, she just flipped on you. She got immunity, got 3 kids, husband was looking crazy. But I got another situation on that. I think the husband gonna leave. I think he's waiting for this court case to leave, to wrap up, and he gonna end up leaving her and taking half of that money, or taking some portion of that money, and possibly the kids, depending on the situation. Dude, she was in the relationship with the man. And remind you, this the Captain Saver. This the knight in shining armor that seen you in distress and seen what you was going through. Y'all build a bond. He took the opportunity to take you away from that man and get away from it, and you took it. And y'all got married, had kids, the whole shebang. And then for him to find out in the court hearing that you was out there smashing for like 4 days straight, the stuff he had you doing, and you married her. Granted, I think one of the situations, the great part, if y'all know what I mean, because she said that he forced himself on her at one point. All due respect, I think she lied about that. I think she tried to save face for her husband and said he forced himself on her to because we later on find out that in one of the moments she FaceTimed this dude, the husband, while Diddy was smashing. Diddy was cracking her back while she was on FaceTime. Lord have mercy. Lord, bro, you can't make this mess up, dog. So the man that put everything beside what probably went against his mother and his family wishes for even dealing with you because of the amount of stuff you had going on in your life. You allegedly sat down and told him everything, and he still accepted you. I don't, know the time frame. Maybe it was his first kid, and then you sat down and told him something. Or beforehand, you sat down and told him about everything. Y'all end up getting together. Y'all had kids. Y'all done got up to your third child. Y'all on the third run, and then he get hit with the bombshell of all bombshells. Yo, Diddy was cracking you while I FaceTimed you one day. And it was recent. It was when like a couple years. Granted, this relationship was over a 10-year span. You and this was the abuser. So, man, pastor, bruh, it is crazy out here. That is insane. Like, and the amount of accountability in this part, nobody is saying nothing. Like, they ain't saying nothing. And granted, you shouldn't have to, because once again, you should not be idolizing these people like that. But if you've been defending this person, like you've been defending her, like, oh my God, once that video came out about the hotel incident and stuff, and had everybody in the world shocked. Remind you, they suppressed that video, so they can't even show that in the court, but they showed it, as the trial was going, to show empathy and sympathy towards Cassie. Granted, nobody should do any physical harm to anybody, but she was with the get down. She was with the get down, allegedly. And then you turn around, she's a victim, and she started preying on other people and making them victims. And we're going to learn more about that later on. Because now you didn't kill the trainers. That dude is done. That's a strong dude right now, because I could never. I don't even know how he in the court. But again, if I know I'm about, allegedly, this is my opinion, I'm about to sue you, I'm about to divorce you, or I'm about to get half or something like that, and for this embarrassment, all right, cool. Or she got X amount of $1 million, I deal with you until the money run out. But right now, I can go to court and bring up this whole docket and be like, yeah, this is the reason why I'm divorcing her, because of infidelity. And it's all legit because it came out of your mouth. You confirmed it. That you was smashing Diddy while on FaceTime with your husband. Your alleged abuser. You ran back to him. That is insane, dog. Insane. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave that one alone, man. That's my theory with Diddy. Um, at first I was like, he's not gonna get up out of this unscathed. At this point, I think his lawyer team is great. They phenomenal. They doing their thing. Don't get me wrong. Cause to come back on that defense after what she said and then bringing in the text messages and showing she was a willing participant and even wanted to set up the stuff. And then with the closing argument of confirming like, yeah, she still loved the dude, even after all of that. It was a dope setup. His money was well spent, but only time will tell if it was enough because right now it ain't looking good. When I pull out, like I said, when you pull out the definition and then you correlate the definition of trafficking to what Cassie said in those 5 days, it doesn't look good at all for him. So neither here nor there. All right, on to the next. Now we got good old buddy, man. We got Diddy out the way. We gotta talk about Tory, dog. We gotta talk about Tory. Tory Lanez, man. Mr. Daystar Peterson himself. Now, this has been a crazy up and down roller coaster in many ways than one. You know what I'm saying? Um, Me personally, let me give you a synopsis of what happened if you've been under a rock. Tory Lanez is an artist. He used to date Kelsey and then ended up smashing later on having sexual encounters with Meg Thee Stallion, which is Kelsey's friend. And around quarantine radio, they go to a party. In the midst of that party, they end up getting into an argument. I think everybody was allegedly drunk. I don't know if everybody was, but they did say that Meg and I believe Kelsey, the friend, was drunk. I don't know if Tory was or not. I can't confirm or deny that one. But they get into an altercation in the car. Words are exchanged. Secrets were revealed. And in the midst of those secrets being revealed, someone got shot. Well, Meg ended up getting shot. In that process of that, she ended up blaming Tory for that shooting, said he shot her. He ended up going to court. In the process of going to court, he was found guilty and he was locked up for 10 years. In the midst of the 10 years, he's of course been saying that he's not guilty of the crime of shooting Meg. He ended up having, within this week, he ended up getting reported that he ended up getting stabbed 14 times. Yes, from the back to the stomach to his head. He suffered, it had even punctured lungs. He ended up suffering massive blood loss and had to be evacuated from the prison that he was in via helicopter to a local hospital. But fortunately, he ended up surviving his attack. And currently right now, allegedly he's healed and he's back at the prison. But in the process of that, the lawyer team comes out and drops a massive bombshell relating to Kelsey's bodyguard, not Meg's bodyguard, not Tory's bodyguard. Because in the incident that happened with the shooting, it was 4 people in the car. It was Tory's bodyguard, Meg, and Kelsey. The bodyguard that's mentioning in this new founding is not Tory's bodyguard that was in the actual car. It is Kelsey's bodyguard. And he ended up confessing and saying that he heard, or he was around and he heard Kelsey pretty much break down what happened and stated that she shot Meg or shot at Meg, and Tory tried to prevent her from shooting Meg. So what you got right now is a black man possibly in prison wrongfully for something that he didn't commit, a crime he didn't commit. And I want to start off by this because once again, I don't have no ties to these people. I don't know these people. I ain't. I enjoy their music, but outside of that, I don't have any physical, emotional ties to these people. So wrong, right is right, and wrong is wrong. And I've been saying since jump, since ground zero, that something wasn't right before the Gail King interview. Before all of that, I literally said that Kelsey shot Meg, and people was looking at me like I'm crazy, and I'm like, dude, if you've ever been in a toxic relationship in your life, between a triangle relationship, the writing is clearly on the wall, because you know how, I'm not even gonna say women in general, but you know how that thing is, or how that situation could possibly go down. And unfortunately for Tory, it went exactly how most people in that situation thought it was going to happen. During quarantine radio, just again, a little backstory with it, because I followed it so much, because we was in COVID, and music was the savior for me personally on Instagram, and Tory, and I think I forgot the DJ, and Timbaland and Swiss Beats came out with the verses stuff, and bro, it pretty much carried us through COVID for entertainment on social media as a whole. So Tory creates quarantine radio blows up. You start seeing the situation go down. People didn't know that Tory and Meg was sleeping around with each other, and no one else knew. For the most part, no one else knew. What was confirmed, Tory and Kelsey was dating each other. They was, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. They was certified. They was together. And in the process, him being with Kelsey, he started hanging around Meg. You know what I'm saying? Meg's around too. So Kelsey ended up getting COVID. She gets COVID. She's down, sick, can't move around like she wants to. Blah blah blah. Also, in the process, the place that Tory was doing quarantine radio at, I think it was in LA. I think, I'm not 100%. It was actually like an Airbnb. In the process, Meg was getting the Airbnb also from the same individual. So they was going to be in the same like unit or complex or whatever, condo area. And, Meg and them started, I assume, getting close together, and Tory hit. You know what I'm saying? Tory smashed her. And they kept it undercover. They kept it under wraps. It was a secret. It was confirmed because Meg's security guards had said it was times where they couldn't get a hold of Meg because she had flown out and she was with him, and you know what I'm saying? XYZ. They was doing their little creep thing. You know what I'm saying? Neither, again, two adults. Detective Mello. Yeah, facts. No, they start creeping around. So Meg has a history of allegedly doing this. She's done this to Kelsey before. But and they said that she sling that thing around. She's a grown adult. She can do whatever she want. You know what I'm saying? No one's taking that from her at all. Once again, so I want to make sure that's clear. So they start creeping around. They start sleeping with each other behind Kelsey's back. They ended up getting to this party. They go to, what was it, Caitlyn Jenner's party, pool party. And in the midst of this pool party, you know what? Tory had to be drunk. Tory had to be drunk because allegedly, Jenner, he started getting a little too close and too friendly to Caitlyn Jenner in the pool party. Mind you, it kind of makes sense too, because he if he was on his petty level ish type of situation, you know, Caitlyn Jenner used to date Travis Scott, and if you ain't seen the video, Travis Scott and um, Tory Lanez had a little verbal altercation with each other before, and somebody recorded it, and it looked like he was ready to get down on Travis Scott's head, but neither here nor there. So, what would be my ultimate revenge or my one up is to also say, "Yo, I smashed your chick." You know what I'm saying? Even with us having the altercation, I ended up smashing your chick. It could be a big headed moment. So neither here nor there. But in the midst of that, they say that Meg peeped game. She was drunk, belligerent, seen what was going on, didn't like the vibes that was being sent out, and told, they said she started getting outraged to the point where Caitlyn Jenner said, "Yo, y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta get up out of here." Tory, they told him, "Tory, you gotta leave." He like, "Dang, I'm trying to, no, you gotta go with your people because y'all wilding." So allegedly they get in the car, they driving, doing they want to, arguing, you know what I'm saying, talking. "Oh yeah, you think you dad, you playing me, blah, blah, blah." You know how a woman, you gonna play a woman out in public around celebrity peers and you playing in her face. Once again, this is Meg. You know what I'm saying? They get into it. One way out of the other, as the time is going, it slips out that Tory is smashing Meg. Remind you, the dead Kelsey is in the back passenger seat and she hearing all of it. So it's a what the F moment. You once again smash woo 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 woo. Like you doing you went behind my back and you smashed my man. It's one of those moments. And remind you, these people are under the influence of alcohol. So, allegedly, now this is where I'm gonna put my 2 cents in because this ain't confirmed or denied, but this is what I think will happen. Kelsey and Meg start thumping. They start throwing fisticuffs. They got the whoop wops, they got the throwing them bitches. You feel me? Meg being, you know what I'm saying, if you seen Kelsey and you see Meg, it's a height advantage and it's a weight class disadvantage in this situation. I think, man, these women is from Texas. I think Meg was giving Kelsey the flute flop. She was giving her that 1-2, that 2-piece with the biscuits. You feel me? They intervene and break them up. Kelsey already feeling the type of way because she clearly lost the daggone fight. Allegedly went for the woo wop and tried to thump at her. In the process of doing it, they tussled the gun from her. They said they was fighting in the car. Like you know how you get advantage of a person before they get in and they was beating them up in the car or something. And Meg walked away, allegedly, or they separated them. And in the process of separating them, Kelsey goes, grabbed the gun, got the thumping. Tory slapping the gun out of her hand, or, snatched the gun or whatever, got it up out of her hands. And they trying to break up everything. In the process of that, they like, "Yo, get in the car. Everybody gets back in the car. They drive a little bit further down. Police swoop in, grab them. Boom, boom. Everybody locked up. Now, in the process of that, of course, Meg is shot. Allegedly. Because I don't know if we can confirm or deny that, but allegedly she got shot. We're going to say allegedly for a reason. I'm going to tell you that in a minute. She gets shot. Boom. She's the victim. They send her straight to urgent care, get her to where she need to go to stitch up X, Y, and Z. Everybody else in the car get locked up. We heading to we heading down. Now, remind you, this is California. So in the process of it being California, they find the gun also in the car. So with the gun being found, the incident coming out that in the area it was a shooting and somebody peeled out because somebody called it in. They checked the individual that was locked up for gun residue in that alleged process. While Kelsey is being interrogated about what's going on and what happened in this whole situation. So they ended up, I think the girls ended up leaving. But Tory was still locked up, and they put everything on him because of the car, who vehicle it was, the gun being in that car. Everything's on him. He's sitting. He got to go see the judge. In the process of him going to see the judge, he makes the infamous phone call that everybody just said, "Oh, this is just omission of guilt." And honestly, it wasn't. I'm trying to, if you've been in this situation, it wasn't. It is. And he called and he was apologizing. Oh, it shouldn't have got that far. I apologize. I'm going to do whatever I got to protect you. Ooh. You're saying that because when you sitting down in that cold room on that slab, you got time. Your adrenaline went down. You done effed up because of the situation. You was dealing with two friends, smashing both of them. It comes out how it came out. The one that you was in, I don't want to say he was in love with, but you was girlfriend and boyfriend, y'all was in a relationship with, you just crushed her whole spirit and stuff like that. She got kids. You know what I'm saying? You built a bond with that person. And then you turned around and smashed her friend. So of course I'm going to try to de-escalate the situation in that matter. And I'm going to try to confirm to him like, yo, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. This is when real street code gets you in trouble. This is how the real street code supposed to go. Go. This is how the real street code supposed to go, in the sense of, yo, if a person get caught in a crime or a situation and no one else get caught, you take that charge. You ride that through. You don't say nothing. That's what happened. That's how it's supposed to go. That's how they claim it's supposed to go. In this instance, is, yo, I messed up. You my girl. I don't want the police to take you away from your kids. We gonna figure this out. Like, we gonna get through this part. We gonna get through this so everybody ain't gonna get touched. Meg, she's a high profile celebrity. She's with the Beyoncé's and the Meg. I mean, in the Jay-Z's. I don't want to mess around and kill her career or mess up her career because of my dumbness at this pool party. So time progresses. He ended up getting out. He goes on, the internet, which should never go to the internet in this situation, because they was getting clowned. He was getting attacked. They made it seem like, yo, they was painting the picture saying that he shot Meg. And as any man in that sense, like, oh, wait a minute. No, that didn't go down like it did. Y'all tripping. Woo, woo. No, I can't tell y'all, but all will be revealed. I can't tell you what's going on, but it's going to go down the pipeline and you're going to find out that I did not shoot her. So this is when I think the battery got put in the back. And I don't have no confirmation of this. I don't. But I'm just going off of face value. First, the person said, yo, I'm just trying to protect the black men, and I don't want nobody to get in trouble and things like that. It went from that to, oh, you want to play in my face and you thinking that I'm a liar and I'm doing da 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 da. Okay, bet. I'm going to give you what you want. I'm going to give you your issue. You did it. And that's when Meg just went out and just said he did it over the internet, which both of them should have never been on the internet to begin with. You could have just tried to shut that down as much as possible right now, because everything was looking crazy. But I know his phone probably blowing up with other celebrities like, yo, what's going on? What happened? you need to say something, people pumping them up, and you did that. Because then it came out, it made it seem like you antagonizing the victim. You're trying to paint the victim as if they're lying about what happened to them. And yeah, it was like the confusion was coming in with the bottle, or was it a bullet? And you entertained that. You entertained that situation, which caused the ripple effect of what she said to her, or what she came out and exposed on that live. Now, we go through that whole spiel. They get the cease and desist, because he ended up getting a cease and desist letter, and they told him, yo, shut up. You can't talk about this person no more. One better, we finna get a restraining order. They went down the pits of hell of making sure they shut this man up until that court case hit. Both of them actually in some shape, form, or fashion. But Meg had more leeway and more leverage to paint the narrative of what happened to her in this situation. So the court case come, they go do they want to. Remind you, in the middle of the court case, I gotta mention this because it's so important. The so-called bullet fragment that the doctor supposedly had pulled out her leg and stuff magically comes up missing. Like, just disappears out of thin air. The gun, the actual gun itself, I think it came up inconclusive for the gun residue on Tory. You don't have, it's like pretty much it was inconclusive. They can't confirm if it was or wasn't him that shot the gun. But again, we're going into court. It's supposed to be within a reasonable doubt, like unanimous decision. Like it can't be no reasonable doubt to say that you did or did not do something. Excuse me. We had to yarn real quick. Comes up inconclusive. Nothing. Zero. Nada. I didn't. It's damn near to the point where was I even close? Was I even near the gun for it to even be something for me to even determine that I did it? So, and that information ended up not being presented in court at all whatsoever. Like it was dismissed because it was inconclusive. Like they could not pull nothing from it. Then the friend Kelsey, remind you, they said that Meg and Kelsey has been friends since the mud. I'm talking about before the fame. They've been kumbaya buddies with each other. And she gets immunity, where she gets the Kelsey treatment. Yeah, this is the crazy part. Like, we can't say that you was with the crime or without the crime, but due to you snitching or due to you getting on court and telling on the other person, we'll give you immunity so nothing happens to you. All red flags, because if you didn't do anything or you wasn't part of anything, why would you need immunity for anything? You could just go in court and just say, yo, you state your plea and end the story. So everybody keeps forgetting when she got on stand, she didn't say nothing. She said, I ain't see nothing. I don't know nothing. Even with immunity, she didn't say nothing. The thing that killed Tory, and this is like I was telling people before, because I remember I was working at Swift Transportation Trucking Company, and they always taught the drivers, in the incident of an accident with a vehicle of anything, you go completely through. You never stop in between the accident. In the middle of an accident, you roll completely through, and you clear that accident if able, and pull that vehicle to the side. Reason being, they never said that, but the reason being is because a dead person can't testify. The victim can't testify if they're not here, if they're unalived. And that was the situation in this court case. There's no court out here and that will look at a victim that says they was coherent mentally, physically and verbally, to say out their mouths and say, hey, that person right there did harm to me. There's no court that's going to overlook that. And when Meg pulled up in that purple suit, it was a done deal for Tory at that point, because you have no leg to stand on. Even though in this situation, it was, it had they got a video, but they never showed that video at all because a neighbor had a ring cam. It was in LA in them hills. They got ring cams, but that video was never showed or displayed. The conspiracy theory part is, what they said, like her father actually came out and said, Tory Lanez's father even came out and said that the witness was compromised because his first story matches up with everything that went down. But then when he got into the courtroom, allegedly some attorneys talked to that person, the story was switched up. And it said that Tory was shooting the gun and emptied the clip, which was the part that found him guilty. And then on top of that, like I said, you got Meg, the actual victim, pointing you out and stating it. In the midst of that, the other person, the other party, the fourth party that was in this situation, the security guard, magically disappears. And he said he was on vacation or some crazy mess or whatever, and they couldn't get him to be physically there at the court case. So he gets found guilty. And the situation also with Tory is, which make it crazy, is this: his criminal record is nothing of like violence, nothing crazy. Like what he got was enhanced criminal verdict. Like if you was a murderer or you was like something crazy, like you did some outlandish stuff, and then you do another crime, he got enhanced criminal charges on him, which landed him to 10 years. From what I was seeing, or what I was looking at, he supposedly had gotten like 5, but they ended up giving him 10, even with him not having a violent like criminal record like that, not to get enhancement. So they booked that boy. They put him under the jail, and he's been pleading this case then since the moment it happened. Do I think at this point, because of like what happened, the coincidence of this happening, and then days later you find out that there was a third security guard, another security guard that heard that Cassie was the one that shot him, and now all of a sudden this happens? It's a coincidence. You can put your conspiracy theory hat on there if you want to. It's very, come on, like it's come on, look kind of weird. Also, they never took in consideration what the stylist said. He said that particular weapon he has packed, I think it was Meg and Kelsey's stylist. He mentioned that particular weapon he's packed countless times in their bags before. I just want to let that sit there. So again, I'm not blaming, even though Meg lied, the Gayle King, which speaks to her character in a sense. If you're willing to lie on that, what else are you willing to lie on? And at the time, y'all got to look at the time frame. Meg was going through a lot of situation right there. She had just lost her moms, I think, in that year or so time frame. The situation with Jay Prince and the record label she was with in Houston with the baseball player, and then it was in the midst of her transitioning over to Rock Nation because they was holding back her albums. Like she had a litigations of some situation going on with the 5 albums, and I think she was only at 2 or 3. She tried to do another album. They wouldn't accept it as part of the points, and they were going through a whole legal situation. So Meg had a lot going on during her uh during that time frame and her transitioning over to Rock Nation. In the midst of that, Rock Nation pulled out their lawyers and their guns, allegedly. I mean, the higher up guns. If you know Rock Nation, got some. They got a legal team like Diddy got right now. So, if you're going with the conspiracy theory, that's what you're going on. With the title, do I think he's going to make as more right now? I don't know. It ain't looking good for brother. It ain't looking good for Buddy at all. With the stabbing situation, you trying to come out with music constantly. Even in his music, when you listen to it, he's literally breaking everything down. He's telling everything. He's been telling this whole situation since Playboy, if you ask me. If you know, you know. He's been saying this for a minute, like what it is, how it's been, but due to his integrity and his mindset of trying to, in a sense, save two black women from losing their family and career, he sacrificed himself. Not to correlate this dude to like Jesus or something. He sacrificed himself because of his actions. And I guess he like at this point he just tired. He like, no, skip that. I'd rather be free than allow these two to literally just destroy everything I built. Because a lot of people really think the people in the know, the people that really know the situation, I'm telling you, he didn't shoot her. It was a dude, wild night. You messed up because you smashed somebody so close, near and dear to a person who actually has a history of doing what she just did to her before they get into a heated argument. If you ever been with a Texas woman, you're a Houston woman, you know how they get down. You know how they get down. They don't play. Especially, like I keep trying to tell y'all, just because these people got money, just because these people got a social media following, they are still from the hood. They are still human beings, and they still have emotions just like everybody else have. Only thing difference is they got a legal team and bodyguards and what's your name to try to prevent certain things from happening. But in some cases, stuff still go down. And right now, the more he fight this case and the more he try to expose this, it's not going to look good for him, especially in the situation where he's at. So he do have a petition out for the governor out in California. They said he got over 100,000 some signatures. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a wait and see approach, like my boy Levon would say. Let's just see what happens. To them, me personally, I say free that dude. Time served, bro. I think it's been like 3 years. If you giving him what he's supposed to have gotten for this, which would have been 5 years, he would have been out in 2.5. Like time served. And then after this, yeah, man. And if it comes out, like if everything comes out that he's innocent, it's gonna be a mess all around the board. The police department out there, all due respect, y'all already looking crazy and nasty out there because of what you just did with the bullet fragment, the alleged bullet fragment, the guy there going the residue on the gun, the actual gun itself, the situation with the gun. They already looking crazy out there in LA just off that alone. And then you turn around and y'all in the legal system, granted, he got picked out. Y'all said he was guilty. Y'all gave him the enhanced max that you can give an individual like that, even though he doesn't have a criminal record. I mean, a criminal record of doing heinous or violent crimes like that. And y'all gave him the enhancement of giving him 10 years. Already nasty work. And then if you throw in the Aluminum 4 situation with Rock Nation, Meg Thee Stallion lying in multiple situations, and you know what I'm saying, just not being an honorable person in that particular situation, it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good at all. And then you got Kelsey just like, hey, long as I'm not in jail, I don't care. Because you got to think about this. And you know, like I said, it ain't all women, but if you know women, you know women. You know, you got a sprinkle of some of those that have this type of mindset, but others, the mass majority, they don't have this mindset at all. If you've been friends with a person since the mud and y'all get into this type of situation, from that point on, these people, from what everyone knows, have not spoken to each other since then. Have not been friends with each other since then. If I done seen chicks smash they homies, I mean they girls husband and still become cool after a couple years. Or as time has passed or something like that. They became cool. Maybe that's the situation now. But right now it's looking crazy. It looked like he done it. But from the hindsight, outside looking in, if you experienced this, you clearly know that dude didn't do it. And then on top of that, you looking at the court case. It has to be conclusive that he shot her, and y'all never proved that outside of, again, Meg pointing them out. But that's neither here nor there, man. That's what I got for y'all, dog. I had a lot to say today on this matter. I'm gonna try to come back because I got one more video I want to do, and it's gonna be some gaming stuff this time though. It's just the Game Pass and the future. I think Microsoft played possum to everybody in the gaming community, and everybody ain't caught up yet. But so I'm gonna end this stream and then I'm gonna go grab me something to eat real quick, and I'm gonna come back. This your boy 001. Love, God bless. Y'all be smooth out there. Peace.